Hey everybody, welcome to a Monday morning edition of Box Seats. I'm your host Frank Holder, sitting in here on this Monday morning. Really happy this Monday morning. It is the Monday after the election weekend, but we ain't gonna talk politics. I ain't gonna talk politics. Anyway, that's Fig, that's Talent. You guys know these comics. They've been around for a very, very long time. They've been in all kinds of comedy genre, festivals, films, commercials, everything. And now they're in something that's called sports, which we call the show called The Box Seats. Now, guys, I don't know about you. I normally would give you my coronavirus update, but I'm waiting to see what happens after the Clemson Notre Dame game with all those kids ran on the field. And I think I'll have that.
Man.
I think I'll have that for you tomorrow. Because normally I wouldn't do that. Anyway, I want to jump into this.
No COVID report?
No, I'm saying that's why I said I wait till tomorrow. Let me wait for tomorrow. And tomorrow, after tomorrow's report, by the time kids will be going around, they're going to be getting sick right about now because, you know, they all camp on the field. They're going to be sick right about now. And tomorrow, we'll see what happens after that.
Right about now.
They get sick right about now. They're waking up doing I don't feel good. They're doing all that today. Anyway. Yeah. Was y'all surprised about the Bucks game with the Saints last night? As surprised as I was, or were you just saying, you know what, that's what could be expected? Because Brady looked human, and it does beg to differ the conversation I've been having with you guys, which I'm gonna bring up in a second about the QB versus the coach. But Talent, first of all, I want you to talk about what you thought when you saw the Saints play the Bucks last night and the Saints demolished them. What was your thought?
What did I tell you guys? What did I say this year is? This year is the battle of the vintage quarterback because it's about to be a change of guard in no more than 2 years. So guess what? Drew Brees is one of those guys in that bucket. Mm-hmm. So, when you get these battles, I think we feel the same way we did when we watched Brady demolish Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But these are all those quarterbacks in that bucket. So it's really, truly living up to the saying, any given Sunday when these guys play each other. Right. Somebody's going to be dominant. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many back and forth battles. It's going to be somebody's day, and it's going to be not somebody's day. Mm-hmm. And it's the second one we see.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that one. Faye, what was your thought?
Man, I was blown away, man. I was like, I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, yo, we was talking about Tampa Bay and all that stuff, and everybody thought the Tampa Bay was going to win that game, man. All of us. Everybody.
Not just
we thought the Tampa Bay was going to win that game, man. Mm-hmm. They had Antonio Brown and Drew Brees and the Saints had they had a different idea, man. It was like, oh, when the Saints go marching in. Like, yo, the Saints went marching into Tampa Bay, and I think Drew Brees got an ankle injury because he broke his foot off in Tom Brady's ass. That's basically.
Hey, you know something? You said something a week and a half ago, Fig, about the Giants when the Giants played them. I think that came to pass because I think the Giants laid the blueprint down on how to beat the Bucks. You know what I mean?
Man, listen, I don't know if it's the Bucks, but it's been Tom Brady's MO is that if you get pressure on him, you can rattle him.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. You can't get pressure on him with DBs and your linebacking core because then he'll eat you up. He'll short game you to death. If you got a defense and your front four could put pressure on Tom Brady, yeah, he can be had. And the two times that the Giants beat the Patriots, that was the formula. At that particular time, the Giants had a decent front four, and they were able to put pressure on Tom Brady, and they were able to win because they were able,
mm-hmm.
You gotta even if you don't sack him, you just gotta put pressure on, and you gotta touch him up a little bit. You gotta knock him on the ground a couple of times, and then they got what somebody called, which is funny to me. They call it happy feet. He gets happy feet in the pocket, and he starts running around, and you can rattle his cage.
Right. Talent. Let me ask you this. When you saw the game last night and you saw Antonio Brown was not he was basically nowhere on the field. I think he had maybe 3 passes thrown to him. I don't even think he had a completion. It seemed like that they were still trying to get acclimated and they were trying to force the issue. So, do you think the Bucks are, are they mortal now? You know what I mean? Because let's be honest. Like I said, the Giants showed the blueprint last week. And of course, the Saints said, okay, well, we got this blueprint down and we're going to run with this. So when you saw all that last night, Tom Brady wasn't hitting nothing. Nothing.
Right. But I mean, it's just an off night. And like we talked about, when you add these big pieces, these star players, and you already have a system. So you're bringing them in the middle of that system, you got to work them kinks out. It's not going to be a happy romance out the gate. You know what I mean? You guys are married guys. Let's keep it real. You know what I mean? You had to find that union place. Like, okay, this is what we like. This is what she like. This is what I like. Boom. Now we're a bona fide couple. Tom Brady and AB ain't a bona fide couple yet.
Mm-hmm. And Frank, the thing is, the reason that the talent ain't married yet is he hasn't found a woman that's okay with him pushing a refrigerator on her.
So you answer that same question.
No, man, listen. I think that Tom Brady yesterday was pressing. I think that he was forcing it. He was trying to really incorporate AB in the game. And I think, and look, that's a lot of pressure because it's brand new. He's only been there maybe a week. He's been there a week. I don't know how much practice they've been able to get in and stuff like that. No preseason stuff like that. I mean, they're both extremely talented players. Tom Brady's the GOAT as far as quarterbacks, and AB is next level, man. But you need chemistry on the field when you got guys trying to tear your head off. You know what I mean? And they haven't had that opportunity. And then you wonder what the other players are feeling, because everybody's human. Everybody got feelings. And you wonder what the other players are thinking about, the other receivers and stuff like that, when Tom Brady is going out of his way to get the ball to AB. It's not like you're throwing the ball to him when he's open, just trying to gradually incorporate him in the game. You're making a conscious effort to get him involved, and you leaving other guys out.
Yeah,
I mean, it looked a hot mess. It looked like they hadn't practiced yesterday because they looked a hot mess.
That's a way to look at it, but I think everybody's scared of AB, so they double coverage him and everything else. And he could have been used as a decoy. He still could be used as a decoy from this point moving forward. Antonio Brown is a difference maker in the game. But speaking of difference makers in the game, talent, I ain't gonna lie. When I saw the score in this game, first person I thought about was you. When I saw Buffalo and Seattle, because you were talking about Buffalo for a while, I was sitting there saying, I should call him, but I said, I don't feel like hearing. I'll wait till Monday. So said Seattle, what was your thought process on that, on the Buffalo game? And two-part question, and does this hurt Russell Wilson's chances of becoming MVP this year?
What you just said about Tom Brady, did they get exposed? What's been exposed is the pass defense of the Seattle Seahawks. Mm-hmm. It's been exposed going into this game. So what I did is, the reason I bet Buffalo is because Buffalo has a great passing game. Their passing is their numero uno. That's their go-to. Mm-hmm. And you got a decent passing game, and you're playing Seattle. They soft on the pass defense. So I'm like, you know what? These guys got a chance. Mm-hmm. Then you make them the underdog. I'm going with them.
Bro, you called it. I ain't gonna lie. You called it.
He was the only one.
Yeah.
It comes down to the pass defense.
Fake, what was your thought process?
Man, I was completely blown away by the way Buffalo played, and it was back and forth, and it looked at some point like Russell Wilson and the boys with the Seattle Seahawks was gonna come back. They looked like they was gonna make it close and stuff like that, but talent was right, man. Buffalo played their behind off. Those receivers was all over the field. You know what I mean?
But does it hurt Russell Wilson's chance for MVP?
I'm not really sure because the guys that were in the running. Now, here's the thing. The funny thing is that nobody's talking about Pat Mahomes. You know what I mean? And he's still putting up crazy numbers. Tom Brady fell off the wagon yesterday. Russell Wilson fell off the wagon yesterday. So who's up? You know what I mean? Who you gonna put? Because those were the guys. It was Tom Brady. You think Patrick Mahomes could squeak in there because he's still doing well, and then you have Russell Wilson. Like, who you gonna put in front of these guys? The guys that were in the running, they both lost. It's not like Brady and then
I'll tell
balled
you.
out, and then
I'll tell
Russell
you.
Wilson lost.
I'll answer that question for you with the question number through the talent. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now 8-0. Should Ben Roethlisberger be now considered for being the lead in the MVP? Because Pittsburgh has had 5 games now where they came back and they're winning the game. And in 5 games, their defense has held off any people coming out. And in all those games, Ben Roethlisberger has brought them back to win these games. They're 8-0, first time since 76, I think it is. So whether we want to call him Fatburger or not, hey, the talent. Should Ben Roethlisberger in Pittsburgh be considered the real deal? And should Roethlisberger be now considered the lead in the MVP race?
Well, absolutely. First of all, to answer that question. Secondly, for the record, for legal purposes, only Fig calls him Fatburger. Other than that, let's not forget Aaron Rodgers, Roethlisberger, and even the Ravens are back in that conversation because after we doubted them, they came back with convincing wins and blowouts and stuff like that. So these guys we talked about from the top of the season have not left the conversation for MVP. Yeah, we probably was like tiptoeing, myself, especially with this Roethlisberger thing. But I think we have to see what happens, how sore he is after that slight injury that he picked up, because a week or two could that's the thing about football. Because it's only 16 games, it just takes a week or two to put you in or out of the running.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So let's see how ginger he is coming off that little slight injury. But right now, all things given from Sunday, which is yesterday, yes, absolutely.
Okay, Fig.
You know, they're winning. You know what I mean? They're winning close games, and they're winning on both sides of the ball. You know what I mean? It's not like here's the thing: they're winning, but they're not putting up great numbers. You know what I mean? Like Ben Roethlisberger, I know I call him Fatburger. I did that in the beginning of the season because, you know, anyway. But he's not blowing you away with the numbers. You know what I mean? Winning is good. You know what I mean? They're winning close games. And I can't say that he's out of it. I don't want to say that he's out of it, but, you know, like the players that we're talking about, man, they throwing for like 300 yards, 200 yards. They putting up 42 points, you know, and I'm not really seeing that from the Steelers, although the Steelers are winning because they're well balanced on offense and defense. Like their offense is serviceable and their defense is serviceable, and they're just enough on both sides of the ball to keep winning games, man. I wouldn't rule them out, but I think the other guys have a better chance because, you know, they got those sexy numbers. You know what I mean? They putting up the big numbers. They got the pretty plays, and they making the highlight films. Ben ain't making no highlight films. You know what I mean? He just winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. You guys always go for, you know, you say the long ball. You know, chicks love the long ball. You know what I mean? But Ben is winning, but he ain't got no long ball.
On the flip side of that, Ben, Garrett Gilbert, QB, he was the best QB I've seen all year for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this out to you, talent, because you know I got my Pelican brief all the time. I'm gonna say this: if Gilbert has 3 more games, that's really good. You know what I mean? And let's say Gilbert wins 2 of those 3, because he could have won that game last night. He should have won that game last night. But if he wins 2 or 3 of those games, does that end Dak Prescott's chances with Dallas? What's your thoughts?
No, I think I don't think that Dallas is ready to trade in 3 or 4 good games over 3 or 4 good seasons. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a little far-fetched. But in the same token, I think it does give him some validity and some room to play with as far as, you know, a valid quarterback. So we've seen this happen before. We've seen somebody build a career in a place where there was, you know, they outgrew that spot, so to speak, as a backup or a third string, and somebody else took them and gave him some money and put them started.
Yeah. What do you think, Fig? I
don't think that was really him, man. I think that was Gilbert Arenas in a white suit.
It might have been. It might have been.
I don't know, man. He you know what? At this point, you think about it like this. Dallas has been so bad. A close loss makes this dude look good. You know what I mean? I mean, they look halfway decent. They lost the game. It's not like this guy was lights out and they won. They still lost. You know what I mean? And he didn't look as bad as Danucci.
Well,
so here's the thing. As long as you don't look bad as Danucci and you're healthy, then you look like you might be better than you are.
He should have won that game.
But think about this.
They should have beat the Steelers yesterday. They should have
Was
beat
them. Was he that good, or did the Steelers take them lightly because they knew they was going up against a fourth-string quarterback?
You know what? To answer that question, we'll find out next week when Dallas plays. We'll find out if he was real.
Who they gonna play? Because that'll tell.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know
if it's anybody in their division, that's not a good but
they
good measuring stick.
But they played the so-called best team in the league that's 8-0, and they should have won that game yesterday. That's the game they should have won. Now, my other game I loved yesterday, especially I didn't able to see, I saw it on highlights. Other game, and I want to throw this out to you, Talon, is the Tiny Marvel guys. You know what I mean? The Miami versus Arizona. Those two going back and forth. I wish I saw that whole game, but it wasn't in my market. And Miami ended up beating Arizona. I didn't see that coming a mile away. But Tua seemed like he's the real deal talent. The future now looks like QBs are now going to have to be small, be able to run and throw at the same time. So I guess it's Tua and Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Are they setting the precedent now for what the new QB is about to look like in the league?
No, I think we're in a, what do you call it? It's like an anomaly season of introducing these guys with this stature. Mm-hmm. I think that the QB is still the most vantage QB is always going to be that tall guy that can look over the line, and you're not easy for you to tip a pass or block a screen or something like that. So I just think that right now we're in that part of the season where these guys are that more talented at their stature that they're standing out at these little statures. But I don't think that's the trend of the future. But I think people balling out. Like, you take Miami, bro. First of all, Frank, you got to get you a good streaming service so you can watch any game you want. You know what I mean? That's first of all. I can't believe the last time. I don't know the last time I heard somebody go, I was going to watch it, but it's not my market. Oh, my market.
I was watching another game. That was funny.
This is a streaming world. You can't have, they have there's a new porn out, but it's not my market. Can't wait I'm going to fly to Arizona to watch it. Can't do that. You can stream whatever you want. But yeah, Miami, they balled out. But they're not, Fig, I picked them too.
Yeah.
I told you guys was like, no, they're not. I said, yo, did you not see what they did last week? I said, I'm still riding with them, man. That momentum going to go. And sure enough.
I'll say this, Fig. I'll throw this to you, Fig. Those are the two of the fastest quarterbacks I've ever seen on the field at the same time. They look like running backs with the ball.
What happens is they're not really that fast. It's that because they're short, their legs move faster.
I was about to say, what TV are you watching?
It's like you put on Benny Hill music. You know what I mean?
That's bad.
You got to watch these dudes on slow motion, and you can tell how fast they really move. No, man, listen.
Those dudes are fast.
I was so surprised again. You think that Kyler Murray and the Cardinals was going to do something, and this kid Tua showed up, man. Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He's man. He really it's a short window. We got a short window of what it is that we've had an opportunity to see him. This kid was the truth in college. He played 2 NFL games, but here's the thing. We had a chance to see Kyler Murray last year, and now teams are, they're positioning themselves to be able to stop Kyler Murray, and he's still performing. Right. We've only seen Tua for 2 games. I want to see what Tua looks like when teams start scheming for Tua. Now, the kid looks accurate. He's a little awkward. I don't know if you play basketball, a left-hand player sort of throws you off a little bit because they left-handed. It's almost like in boxing, a southpaw could throw you off. So because he's left-handed, it sort of throws you off a little bit. He's accurate. He gets the ball out quick. He looks like he got a nice arm, and they shocked me. They shocked me. I was surprised, but I'd like to see. I need to see a little more
Yeah,
before
well, yeah.
I'm
about
proud.
to. I can tell you this right now. We're about to see a little more on him this year. I think he's going to be so good. He's going to scare people in the AFC East. Anyway, the Bears lost to the Titans. The Bears now, they started 3-0, and now they're 5-4. And is it time to replace Nick Foles? I can't wait to Rodney Perry talk about this part. They lost 24-17, but is it time to get Nick Foles out of there and put back Mitch Trubisky? What you think, Cal?
No, I think it's time to move the team out of Chicago. I told you. I picked this another one I picked. Mm-hmm. And Rodney got on here and cursed me out and was upset and then Chicago. And I'm like, whatever, go back to Wabash Avenue. You know, remember when all jokes aside was open 1,000 Wabash. Let me tell you something. Chicago is not who he thinks they are. I said it when we were doing the picks. I said, watch this revelation this week, because when you go up against a bona fide team, they have a way of putting you in your place. There's a reason why a lot of brothers get them a good white wife, because the sister gonna put that ass in the place. That's what happened in Chicago. Chicago played the big black woman this weekend.
Yeah, sure.
And she put that ass in the place.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't think it has nothing to do with Foles. I actually think Foles is very bona fide accolade of quarterback. I think he fits the script 100%. But again, unity, team clicking, working on all cylinders. You need more than just a quarterback to pull that off.
Well, talent, I didn't see it because it wasn't in my market, so I don't know. Fig, what you got?
Yo, man, it's crazy. Man. Yo, see, Trubisky is he's mobile, but there's a reason they moved on from him, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They moved on from him because they didn't think he could get the job done. Foles is your typical in the pocket type quarterback, and he's not really mobile and stuff like that. So I don't know. If it was me, I know this sounds crazy, but if I had two halves and not a whole, then what I would do is I would play the quarterback that's best suited for each team. I got these guys on the team, and they both pretty much equal. If I'm playing a team where I know my quarterback can stay in the pocket, right, then I get Foles out there. If I'm playing a guy where the defense is good and they need to and the quarterback needs to be mobile, then I play Trubisky. That's the way that I would play it if I was Chicago, because you don't have a quarterback that can do both. You know what I mean? So I would take advantage of the fact that I got two of these guys, and both of them are good at different things. It would be every week you got a scheme and you got a plan for the team that you're playing. Why not put the quarterback in that's best suited to beat that team? That's what I would do.
Let's get ready to jump to the NBA, because I want to get a couple of things in here before we bring Rodney Perry in here. Over the weekend, the Celtics contacted Phoenix, and they want to make a trade. Phoenix countered with this trade. Celtics are inquiring about Devin Booker. Phoenix countered and said, okay, we will give you Devin Booker if you give us Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, the 2020 first-round pick, and your 2022 first-round pick. Right now, we're going to have to see if that is something the Celtics do. I don't think the Celtics are going to do that, because I think Phoenix, I think Phoenix asked for their entire team for one player. And I was like, that don't seem like a possible thing. But I'm going to throw to you, Talent. Devin Booker, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Romeo Langford, 2020 first-round pick, 2022 first-round pick. You see Celtics agreeing to that for Devin Booker?
Nah, I don't see. And don't get me wrong. I mean, definitely worth a lot, but I think that might be a deal breaker. That might be a deal breaker. You know what I mean? When you're talking player to player is one thing. When you're talking players for player and picks for the player all in one package, you're really talking giving up like what we did for Melo. You're talking about 4 or 5 people to get that person. I don't see it. I think that's that's an overexpenditure. You know what I mean? Like you're overspending at that point.
I don't see Danny Ainge doing that either. But
Yeah.
I'll throw it to you, Fig. Danny Ainge has been known to do some crazy things, and the thought of Devin Booker or Jason Tatum on the floor and Kemba Walker is kind of scary. You know what I mean? But hey, what's your thought process?
I think I don't think you got your information correct, Frank. I think what the Phoenix Suns asked for, they wanted the Celtics logo. They wanted the 4-leaf clover, the leprechaun, Danny Ainge, and they wanted the rights to Larry Bird's next grandchild.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Pretty much what they asked for.
Sounds about right.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah, but
about right.
listen, he's that type of player, though.
He is.
You know what I mean? He really is that type of player. Jaylen Brown, the other guys, like, I'm like, yo, man, if you could get a kid like this in Boston, and you able to eke out and get yourself a nice center. I mean, when you're talking about draft picks, do you really know what you're going to get? You know what I mean? When you're trying to win, and you're trying to win now before you lose, you know, the prime of these players that you have on your team, then what do you know what's coming down the line with draft picks? So what if the Celtics give up 2 draft picks? They got like 30 of them. They've been stockpiling draft picks for the last 8 years.
The thing is that this question really should be asked is that Phoenix has him on the market and they're listening to him. That should tell you that Phoenix is not liking where the prospect of this is going. But here's another thing that's going to make your ears perk up. The New York Knicks have been in talks with Miami over the weekend for some sort of trade. I don't know much about it just yet. I'll find out about it. But the talks have started and ensued, and they're going to happen today. Now, talent. I have an idea who the Knicks are going to trade, you know, with Miami. I have an idea. But do you even like the thought of New York Knicks being in a trade with anybody, or where's your thought process at?
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm not against a trade. I mean, you want to get better. We got a nice amount of young pieces to wheel and deal, so to speak. But Miami, I don't know if I like that conversation because one team is on the brink and one team is rebuilding. So that means for the team that's on the brink, I could almost guarantee you in their shopping list, they have something that's part of your rebuilding. It doesn't mix. Like a team that's on the brink trading with a team that's rebuilding, that means that team that's rebuilding is about to give up something major they need already to help the team that's on the brink.
Yeah, because when you're rebuilding, you need all pieces. You need everything.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't like that.
Yeah, I know you don't like it, Fig.
No, man, because it's got to be the rookie, RJ Barrett,
right? See,
or it's got to be the center. I would say it's probably the center, and that
because Miami wants another center. It has to be. They want.
Yeah, and man, this dude that we got, when he started playing, he was a kid. He was like 18, 19. He was at a high school, something. He didn't even go to college. So his up level, man, like what he could do is just crazy. They're not giving up Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean?
No.
Which would seem like a player that would seem interesting to me because Thibodeau was in Miami. And Thibodeau had Butler.
Right.
So
right.
I can see that the Thibodeau would be interested in Butler, but I don't think they're giving up Butler. And it just, I don't know. Miami don't have nothing sexy to me.
I think it really it's got to be for some draft picks and everything else because New York ain't got too much stuff that people want. But listen to this one. Fred VanVleet is meeting with Miami because we did talk about the trade deadline. I mean, we did talk about the NBA free agency stuff happening really quickly because the season's happening really quickly. So players are moving and having conversations really quickly. So talent. Here's the thing: Fred VanVleet is meeting with Miami, and all Miami's worried about right now is seeing if they could get him, but they don't want to overpay. But Fred VanVleet has said he's willing to listen to conversations with Miami. If he goes down to Miami, I'm gonna put this on the record right now with my Pelican brief. If he just goes to meet with Miami, it's a wrap.
Right.
I think he's playing. I think he's going to sign with Miami. But anyway, what's your thought process in that town?
Everybody's afraid of that. Every time there's a meeting with Miami, people are like, if you go down there.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them.
It's like the meeting with Prince.
It's like, no, I'm just going down there and take a quick meeting. No, if you go down there, I feel like you go back into the old slave days. Don't you go down there. Now, you know, if you go down there, Master Riley gonna get you. You're gonna have to stay down there with Riley. I mean, there's a reason people feel like that, Frank. Because Pat Riley's that guy. Reminds me of the old cartoons where they be like, Pat Riley always gets his man. You know what I mean? So when he wants something and he feel like it's a winning piece to the puzzle, you're right. Pat Riley usually gets his man. So, I mean, Van Vliet, and here's the thing. We just was talking about one other trade potential with the Knicks. So if Van Vliet's going for a meet and Fig, you know they're trying to take the center.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, man. I don't like that, man. I wouldn't give him up, man. I'm like, yo, man, because I'm like, we've been in purgatory forever.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up my We did the like you said, the Knicks did it with Carmelo, and we gave away like 5 players, and all 5 players turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Denver did way better in that trade. Their record was better for the next 4 or 5 years because they had Danilo Gallinari. It was Chandler. It just so many players that we had to give away to get Melo. It was just a horrible deal, and I don't like it. I don't like it. And the thing is that if Van Vliet goes down there, you think about it, Van Vliet, he don't get much sun up in Toronto, man. He could use a tan. As a light-skinned dude, I know. You go down to Miami, you get dark quick. You
Bro, Miami will get better because they'll lose Dragic, and they and Van Vliet. Can you imagine how that's
and me with Pat Riley is scary because he slicked that hair back, get a shave, put on a $5,000 suit, and then throw the rings in front of you. You're pretty much done, man. After that, you're done.
Yeah, that's pretty much done. Let me see if my man, Mr. Rodney Perry, is ready to come in and check in because I want to see if he's ready to get ready to see what he agree or disagree. Because you know Rodney got a whole bunch of things he want to agree or disagree with on a regular basis. Good to have you back, Rodney Perry. You've been gone
straight off the play tour.
Yeah,
man. Brother, been working, and but you guys never cease to amaze me. Let's get right to it. Is the short quarterback coming into fruition? Well, let's talk about it. Okay. First of all, it's always been short quarterbacks. Going back to Doug Flutie, it is never going to take hold because the NFL do not like short, and they don't like guys that's too tall. If you get above 6'7", they don't. You useless in the NFL. Don't nobody want no tall dudes. They be too goofy ass, tall ass. Don't nobody want that. But let's talk about what's short. I'm gonna say 6 foot and under is short in the NFL. Who's 6 foot and under? Y'all mentioned Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is not short. He's 6'2". He's 6'2". Kyler Murray is a midget at 5'10", but still taller than at least 50% of us. Russell Wilson, 5'11".
Is he? I thought he was
Chicago is Wabash. Let me tell you something about the Chicago Bears. And this is the difference between me and all 3 of y'all.
Okay.
I know my team is suspect. I don't need talent, you know, with his little analogies. I don't need that. I know my QB position is suspect. It don't matter who they put in. Fig said it best. We might need to play them both. And I don't never agree with Fig, but we might need to play them both.
Okay, I give you that.
I'm going through the show, and I gotta always endure one of these fantastic analogies. So the Bears is like a dude with a white wife. What?
That's not what I said.
That's what you said. They got beat up this week because they was arguing with their black wife. What is it a poly relationship? What's going on?
The moment he said it, I knew it was gonna be funny.
Then you got old Frank.
Uh-oh.
Frank is always pulling out Boston out of the small of the crack of his butt. Frank, hold on. I got an idea. Oh, there you go. Look at this. Boston's out of his butt again. Okay. Hey guys, what do you think about this? Boston wants. First of all, who gives a damn? Who cares about Boston that's not Frank Holder? Nobody. Nobody in the world. But let's entertain it. Boston, this is what the league, the NBA is built on superstars. Boston needs another superstar. Why wouldn't they get it? They should blow that team up to get a Devin Booker. Why not? Why not?
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get Ronnie DeVoe, get Devin Booker. Brings me to my guys. Old New York. The Knicks. How dare y'all talk about the Knicks keeping anybody? The Knicks need to get rid of they need to get rid of the towel boy, them dudes that wipe up the floor. They need to get rid of. I would trade, if I was the Knicks, I would trade my wife to get a better team. Baby, sorry. Going to Phoenix. The Knicks. I can't believe we need to keep our team together. Why? Why, Knicks? What the hell? What y'all got to lose? Y'all like the Trump logic. What do we have to lose? Except losing again.
Hey, Rodney.
I don't want to hear it.
I'm afraid of the Knicks doing business with the shark Pat Riley. That's what I'm afraid of, because we know that Pat Riley gonna get the best end of the deal.
Let him finish, man.
Pat Riley is going to win. You're right, because he's a winner. What y'all need to try to do is get Pat Riley in New York. Pat Riley is a Knick. He's a historic Knick. Y'all need to get. But guess what? Pat Riley not gonna do? Come to New York, because he know better. He watched Carmelo lose his family in New York. Why the hell would I send myself up there? Man, you crazy. Anyway. You guys are putting together a fabulous show. Box Seats is sitting at the top of the ratings nationwide. I know these Boston hats must be on sale because Frank don't spend no money.
You're damn right.
I don't know how Frank come out with a new Boston hat every day. But that there's one thing that Frank Holder spend money on. He's not gonna get no out of market games, but he will get a new Boston hat. I'm done, man. I wanted to jump to some of the other things y'all talked about, but I'll stay brief on the day. I missed you guys, man. And I didn't know if I was even make it today. I'm still a little slightly fatigued, but I'm like the Chicago Bears. Sometimes you got to get up even though you're gonna lose.
So that black woman got you up. That black woman got you.
Tap
You like the Chicago Bears. That black woman got your ass up.
She tapped me on the shoulder. Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
Speaking of, hey y'all, that's Rodney Perry with this segment called I Disagree, but I want to throw it back to Chicago's own Rodney Perry, and say, guess what I heard over the weekend with my Pelican brief, Rodney Perry? You ready for this? Yeah, you ready for this? Paul George for Zach LaVine over the weekend. And if Paul George, if they work out the money, you will be seeing Paul George play for the Chicago Bulls. Now, you like that? You like that trade?
I mean, I like it. I like it, but I don't think it's gonna move the needle for either team.
Mhm.
You know, I like Paul George. He's a marquee player. He's a great guy to build around. But yeah.
He got
So
money.
what? So
But
what?
I'll say
So
this.
what, Paul George?
I'll say this.
I'm telling y'all. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I'll say this. Paul George getting out of the Clippers and them getting Zach LaVine could be the best thing to happen for the Clippers. That's what I would think. I was gonna say could be the best thing because I think they got too many superstars. That's
Well,
what
Paul George going
What-
anywhere. Could be
What
the best thing
superstars they
happening.
got on the Clippers? What superstars they got?
Kawhi,
Kawhi.
All right. And
it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, I agree with that.
Kawhi
Yeah.
is too much by himself?
Kawhi is that guy.
Okay,
It's-
Kawhi is a superstar. Who else? You said they got too many. Who else?
I'm basically saying, I'll say this. Well, it doesn't even really matter who else because the number one thing is half those teams, Montrezl Harrell's not going to be there. So he's gone. And then on top of that, you've got the guards. I forgot the name of the guards. The kid who came from Philly, he's up there now.
No
Those
superstar.
guys,
They not. Ain't nobody else. a
Who, Reggie
superstar.
Jackson?
no, the other dude, Joe Doxson dude. Those guys are balling
Pat
out.
Beverly.
Pat
Yeah,
Beverly,
Pat Beverly. He's a defender. He ain't no superstar.
he's a star. Okay, maybe I overstated. He's definitely a star. Pat Beverly goes on mostly any team, and they'll do a lot better with him on the team. You can't deny that. But I think right now, you put Zach LaVine on that team, you take Paul George out. You don't think they're gonna be better?
No.
Fig, you think they're gonna be better?
I always like Zach LaVine. I think being in Chicago because they wasn't winning, it's almost like you don't get to see him that much. But I like Zach LaVine because he's athletic, he's young, he can play defense, and over the years he's developed a nice shot. He can knock down an open shot. You know what I mean? And with that scheme out there, you don't need much. I mean, you don't need
Zach
much.
LaVine is like Fig's muscles. They unreliable.
Tyler, what you think?
Big say he playing Chicago. You don't get to see him that much. It's not in your region either, Big.
No, I'm just saying, like you don't see him. You don't see him on the on the marquee. Like I'll buy the package, the sport package and stuff like that. But you don't see Chicago on those major you like on TNT or you just don't see them when they
that's
on
why
ABC.
you got it. This is 2021 coming. You got to step your streaming service up. There's no reason you should see, especially if you're on a sports show. You should see every game you want to see when you want to see it. Let me tell you something. LaVine go over there, they instantly get better. You just need to move Paul George out of there. You could throw Zach from Saved by the Bell on the Clippers, and they're gonna be better.
Hey, Talent. The question is if you want to see him. Don't because I'll buy the package, I'll stream the package, but I don't want to see the Bulls play. Why would I do that? I don't want to see the Bulls play.
Too busy watching New Edition play every week.
And they still better than the Bulls. They still better than the
That's
Bulls.
true. That is a fact. We've been trying to get running the Bulls for 6 years.
All right, well, here and finally, the last trade that I've been hearing about is that John Wall is getting shot right now. And the problem with moving him, that Washington's finding out, is that he has 2 guaranteed years in his contract. He has a very high balloon in the second year, so it's hard to move. But Chicago has expressed interest, Sacramento Kings, Detroit, and the Knicks. So I'm gonna start with you, Rodney. Who would you expect to see him?
No.
Say that again.
I'm gonna start with Rodney. John Wall, 2 guaranteed years on his contract. So Chicago, Sacramento, Detroit, or the Knicks. Those are the 4 teams.
Chicago got money.
Yep, they do.
They got money.
We got money too.
If you put Paul George in the mix and the John Wall, they get real good real fast.
And that's probably why they're doing it, because they're having conversations.
They get real good real fast. That's almost 2 superstars. It's almost 2 superstars. It's like together they like a superstar and a half.
So you like Chicago? You going on record saying Chicago?
I definitely go on record with that. I would love to have a John Wall. It would make the team exciting. A John Wall and a Paul George. You know, he been seeing his therapist. He getting emotionally straight. I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Okay.
He coming to New York, bro. New York love those hard-nosed point guards. Them tough. We born and bred on tough point guards. So John Wall would fit so crazy nice in the New York Knicks uniform. And he's a floor general, man. He controls the team. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. I'm not going to hate him.
John Wall's not being seen by a lot of people in a lot of markets. He's being overlooked by a lot of time, but people don't realize he's gonna be a free agent.
John Wall is cold.
Yeah, he'll be a free agent in 2 years, and he has said unless he gets traded to a team that he likes, he's gonna test the free agency market. So, Fig, I'm gonna throw the same question out to you: Chicago, Sacramento, Detroit, or the Knicks? Where you see him getting that?
I can see John Wall in Chicago. Well, listen. First off, let me just put this out there. I'm afraid of John Wall because of his injury history. That scares me, number one. And the fact that he's owed so much money, man, I'm suffering as a Knicks fan. I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome of getting these players in the last few years of their contract or that are injury prone. And they never pan out to be nothing, man. But if John Wall is healthy and he goes to Chicago with PG-13, I think they can make some noise. Are they going to win? I'm not really sure. But it would be exciting. It would make Chicago exciting again.
I would say this.
If John Wall go to the Knicks, he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, I'll say this too. I'll say this. Right, this is my Pelican brief. If John Wall goes if he goes to Chicago, Sacramento, Detroit, or the Knicks, it's going to be a 2-year rental. He ain't staying in none of those 4 places. He's going to test the free agency market.
And let me just tell you this, Frank.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thibodeau pushes his players hard.
Mm-hmm.
The last person in the world we want in New York is an injury-prone player because Thibodeau, they say he run his players in the ground. So you don't want to see an injury-prone player in New York with that kind of coach.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I can't even disagree with anything you just said. But I'll say this for the record. John Wall becomes a free agent. It's scary where he could land in 2 years. And what could be even happening now that we don't hear, you don't know if Miami's is not in the mix because Miami is all over everything I've seen all over weekend. Like they're trying to make 2 or 3 big major moves, and John Wall could be part of that mix too. It just came to fruition.
Miami trying to stay in the playoff conversation. And I don't believe they can, but they're definitely they were blessed by the bubble. Okay.
Yeah, but Rodney, they got money now, and they got a lot of people now wanting to go there to Miami because of the run they just made. You know what I mean? And if they get rid of Dragic is gone. If they get another guard and another center, they will be right back there. But
now I'll say this: if Miami get Devin Booker, Lord have Jesus. Now that's it. Now that's a big splash.
Yeah, but
Miami get a Devin Booker.
But Phoenix is asking for a lot from anybody who gives it. So I don't see Miami giving up anybody. That ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Probably give him a ring.
I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think that's gonna be a big splash. But I'm gonna change because the time is winding out. I want to change course right now real fast. I'm gonna throw it to you, Talent. I'm gonna go back to the NFL because there's one more NFL game tonight. And after what we saw this weekend with the upset, I think we all picked the Patriots to beat the Jets. Now, we can't change our picks, but would anybody up here be surprised? What would you point your Talent for?
I took the Jets.
He took the Jets.
Okay, well then maybe I'll ask Rodney Perry then, since you took the Jets. I mean, you expect the Jets to win. You went on record with that then, Talent. Okay. Rodney Perry, do you expect, because we just had a crazy weekend of surprise in the NFL? I mean, we've had 2 weekends back to back with some major upsets. Would you be surprised if you saw the Jets beat, that's what we mean, the Jets beat the Patriots?
I think the Jets will lose like they do, but I think you will also get a way more competitive game than you think you're going to get. Like, these are still men. They're going to come out there and they're going to play and they're going to score some points. I need them to score a lot of points, win or lose, so my fantasy can win. So that's what I need personally.
So your fantasy career, okay. All right, Vic, I'm going to throw it up to you. What you think? You expect
Man, listen. No, sir. Major upsets all weekend long. We know that for a fact. But I don't care win or lose, I've never seen a Belichick team, I don't care who he got on there, unprepared to play at their highest level, whether that could win the game or not. I've never seen a Belichick team unprepared to play, and get upset by a lesser talent team like that. So it's going to be interesting. And Cam Newton, which I think is still a star quality quarterback, he feels like he owes himself, not even the team. He feels like he owes himself to be able to play better. So I'm a little afraid of what's going to happen tonight. But I'll be sitting front and center.
We'll see. We'll see. Last question of the show. Rodney Perry. The Giants well, I won't say it's an upset because both teams are horrible, but the Giants beat Washington football team.
Yes, they did.
And the Giants looked pretty good. I did happen to see that in and out. Are we thinking the Giants are getting ready to right the ship and get ready to put a couple of W's behind them before the season's out? You expect some changes with the Giants, or was that just lucky win?
No, of course not. The Giants are still horrible, and they're going to be bad. But, again, these are men, and they're playing a man's game. And from time to time, if you punch a man in the mouth, he's going to punch you back. Mm-hmm. And that's just some man stuff. So are they going to figure it out?
Well, only reason why I asked that and asked it like that is because a couple of those L's they got, the Giants were in some of those games. You know what I mean? It's one thing if you lose badly like the Jets lose, right, Talent? It's another thing if you and you barely lose, like the Chargers doing the exact same thing. Justin Herbert looks amazing for the Chargers, but they only got 2 wins.
Not only that, Frank, you give them 2 more wins, which we got more than enough time for, and they are the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, and then they can make the playoffs. And they can make the playoffs. Hey, Rodney, I'll say this. Justin Herbert and the Chargers have the best offense in the league right now on paper. Best offense in the league. And what's their record? You know what I'm saying? What's their record?
Losers. That's their record, Frank. Let me tell y'all something. You guys look at Pittsburgh and be like, oh, they got all these wins. I can't believe they winning. They winning.
Yeah.
They win. Shit, please. Fig have said it many times on the show. Oh, well, all we can judge is wins, but y'all don't want to judge wins. You will look at a loser, Frank. A loser. You keep bringing up this boy Justin Herbert. He's a loser. he replaced another loser. He's a 2-time loser.
Rodney, would you take him on the Bears?
Yo, you know why the Giants are in those games? Let me tell you why the Giants are in those games. It's the quarterback, Daniel Jones. The other teams keep coming to New York, and they looking for a black dude. Daniel Jones, that's a black name. They looking for this black quarterback, and this white dude show up, and they confused. And that's why the Giants be in those games temporarily until they figure out who this dude is. And they're like, hey, man, that's a white dude over there. We can beat them.
Listen, people can sleep on Daniel Jones if they want to. Daniel Jones is not a bad quarterback, and neither is Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is the truth, Rodney Perry.
Hey, man, tell me Daniel Jones ain't a black name. If you was looking at an application, you saw Daniel Jones, you'd be like, all right, Daniel Jones, you'd be looking for a black dude to walk through the door. I don't care what nobody.
You sure would.
I don't know why you like this Herbert guy, Frank.
You ain't seen him play. You didn't look at games outside your market.
He had one good game this season.
Talent look at games outside his market. That boy almost won yesterday too. But his defense sucks. The defense sucks. They keep giving up hard. The defense sucks. I know almost don't count. When they fire Anthony Lynn and they get another coach, we'll see. We'll see. Remember this.
The coach that played him.
The coach,
you trying to get rid of the black coach.
The coach that hired the defensive coordinator.
Good for you, Frank.
I don't care if he's black or white, pink or purple. The coach is not good, and the defensive coordinator is horrible. But they got the best offensive in the league. They got the best offense in the league. Those boys are balling. But anyway, that's our show. Talent, tell how they can follow you.
Hey, yo, you can follow me on Twitter. It's Just Comedy. Also, IG. I'm on Instagram at Talent the Comedian. And Facebook, King Talent Harris. Holla at your boy, man.
Fig.
Yeah, man, you can follow me at Comedian Fig on all social media platforms. Y'all, hey, listen, if y'all was looking for me, I was trying to find talent, but he went somewhere else and he's streaming. So I couldn't find him because he's streaming from another platform. That's why I wasn't on Talent's page. But when he finally get back home, I'm gonna be on Talent's page
I know
too.
Talent don't even look like he's in New York City. Talent, where you at? You in Florida? Can't hear you, Talent. Can't.
Hold on. That's Jersey Airport in the background.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah, I'm in the airport.
okay, see you in the airport. Rodney Perry, tell everybody out there how they can follow you.
I'm easy to find. RodneyPerry.com is the website. Rodney Perry live on all social media. And little boys and girls out there. This is
Rodney
courtesy
Perry,
of
you still in the play?
courtesy of Frank Holder.
You still in the play this week? Want to tell everybody you still in the play or what?
No. I'm working. I'll be in Colorado Springs at a brand new comedy club called 3 E's Comedy Club this weekend on the road. But I want to say, Frank, you're the optimist, and I love you for that. And you can find an inkling of success in Herbert. And for all you little boys and girls out there, know this: you don't have to win.
I'm Frank Holder. That's Rodney Perry. That's me. You're watching a show called The Box Seats, where it's nothing but comedy up here. This is the show called Box Seats. This is the channel called Humor Mill. These dudes are funny. We on every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2. We are on a channel called The Humor Mill. You can download the app. You can call your cable service provider to ask them to add us. We'll be back tomorrow. This week, we're going to have some guests too. Can't wait to tell you who. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.